Hey girl, what you
Doing?
doing? Listen to the beat, everything and more.
Podcast, baby.
Let's
Fucking
go.
One way to instantly gain a competitive edge is to work on things that genuinely interest you. The person who is having fun has a better chance of winning because they are more likely to stick with it when things get challenging. If it felt like a hassle from the start, you're likely to quit as soon as things get tough. But if you've been having fun the whole time, you're better positioned to work through the hard parts. That is from James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, which, sidebar, if you haven't read that book, absolute game changer. Probably top 3 personal growth books I have ever read, and has a way of breaking down habits and how to make them achievable and making things so small that it feels like, is this even working? And how it compounds to transformational results. And I love that quote so much because he really focuses on joy. And in so many business containers or networking events or, um, you know, anything to do with business, really, the focus is on everything but fun and joy. And it's like entrepreneurship is hard and it's a long road and it's going to be this, that, and the other. And it's not for the faint of heart. And all of that is somewhat true. But is it that bad if you're having fun along the way? I always laugh because I have my daughter every other weekend pretty much with our custody schedule. And when someone's like, "Oh, what are you doing this weekend?" If it's a weekend I don't have McLean, I'm like, "Oh my god. I get to go to my office and work." Like work uninterrupted, and it sounds like a dream. And I genuinely mean that because I, first of all, love what I fucking do, but I have so much fun. I mean, at every retreat, we have some kind of wild, we're dressing in pink or we're going out dancing or we are listening to fun music or in Greece, we broke plates. Like, we don't have to be so serious all the time. And this is definitely something that if you can infuse into your 2026 business strategy, you are going to see that instantly on your bottom line. And so, what are some ways that you can incorporate fun into your business? I'm going to share. How can we bring a little more fun into your business? Couple of things come to mind when I think about it. And the first thing is making friends. How do we do that? Right? So, how do we find other like minded individuals? Well, that can look like going on a retreat. So, in my group coaching program, for example, part of the cost that you're paying for is you get to come to one of the weekend retreats. We just had our first one in Joshua Tree a few months ago, and it was a total freaking blast. And yes, we worked on our business, but we also did a lot of other cool, fun shit in the process. And I would say it was like 80% fun, 20% business. Okay. It's kind of like the mullet effect. Um, what do they call it? Business in the front, party in the back. So that is, one of the ways I recommend having fun is planning opportunities for you to remove yourself from the day to day. So, taking yourself out of, if you are in a family, maybe you're a caregiver, maybe you're none of those things. Maybe you are just living your best single life and you go home to you and that's like your daily routine. Highly recommend removing yourself from whatever your routine environment is and going to put yourself in a remote experience with a group of friends. There are opportunities to go solo traveling. There are retreat opportunities. If you're looking for communities to do that with, just holler at your girl. We're going to go to Slovenia in 2020, summer 2026. We also have another business retreat coming up in April. So if you jive with this community and you want to travel with us, that's one way to have some fun. Another way to have fun is when you're recording your content, find ways to like make yourself laugh and not take yourself so serious. I have been a victim of this before where I'm like, okay, I have to go on social media and tell you the 5 ways to blank. And yeah, you might want to know the 5 ways to blank, but also you don't want to hear it from me being this like strict mother may I teacher. You would rather hear it maybe from a maybe I don't know, making a meal, having an Aperol spritz. Maybe I am, I don't know, jumping on a trampoline or doing something wild, something that feels fun and playful and a way to like communicate information in a way that feels relatable and also like we don't have to always, you know, be this serious business person. Feel like I'm getting lost on a track. This is not what I wanted this episode to be about. I just started going off on this tangent. I had a completely different thing planned. I literally just had to pause this episode and I started laughing, talking about not taking yourself too seriously because something that's really different since we started doing this for YouTube. Dee's in the studio with me when I'm filming, okay? And so sometimes when I like get off track or I just am like, what in the fuck am I even saying? This was not at all what I did not plan to talk about fun. Okay. I think I just read that James Clear quote and I actually wanted it to take us in a totally different direction. And then I just got stuck on fun and I couldn't stop talking about it. So I gave you 2 ways to have fun in your business, but honestly, that's not where I'm going. Where and now Dee is laughing at me, and now I'm not gonna be able to stop laughing. This is what we do. So, anyway, what I really wanted to talk to you about, okay, let's get down to brass tacks. Now you're gonna see the serious side of me. What I really wanted to talk to you about was, and now I forgot. This is the life of a podcaster, I swear, where it's like I knew what I was going to say. I'm also like ADHD podcaster, so wrap that all into something and I don't know. Here we are. But behind the scenes, I think it's great. I think it's important to realize that when we sit down and again, this is not scripted. So I'm really speaking to you from a place of embodiment, being the strategy, being this person that I hope that you can be in your business too, meaning you show up without having to feel scripted, without having to feel like you know everything that's going to happen next. And I swear I feel like Dee's laughing at me all the time, so I have to catch myself. So that all being said, what I really wanted to talk about was I often get the comment, how is it that you say you want to do something and you just do it? Like you just do it. Um, I was recently, talking to a friend of mine and she was telling me, I just got a colonoscopy, by the way. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it. Everything went fine, great. But I just had it last week. And by the way, it's not as bad as everyone says. I didn't love it, but I also loved starting my birthday with a literal clean slate. Just saying, if you have been putting it off, it's time and it's not so bad. But this conversation started, and she's not the first person that said it to me, was like, oh my gosh, I even like started the prep and then I like talked myself out of it. And now I just like still have it to do. And I can't get myself behind it. And you literally 2 weeks ago went to the GI doctor, said you were going to, get a colonoscopy. And here you are 2 weeks later, you just get it done. And she's like, how do you do that? I've had people tell me that about like, you said you were going to do a marathon. You said you were going to do a live event. You said you were going to, help your daughter. You said this, you said that, whatever it's going to be. And I don't have some kind of like magic just do it sauce. I really don't. I feel like the thing I have that it enables me is I've talked about this on one of the first episodes, which is I don't have a backup plan. I just kind of go for it and I allow it to unfold. And the words I can't don't exist in my vocabulary. It's just not words I know because I can and you can. You're just potentially choosing not to do it or to give yourself an excuse about it. And I know that sounds really harsh. But if you're finding yourself in this camp and there's something you really want to do that you've been saying, like, I really want to and I can't. First of all, if you really wanted to, you would. So let's get into that a little bit, right? Like what's stopping you? But also how can you make the process of getting there fun? Just like James Clear started in what I originally wanted to say, talking about fun was if you can find ways to make the hard stuff fun, you are more likely, just like the quote said, to actually follow through and do the thing. So, if you want to throw a live event, let's say in your business, and that feels like something that's really hard, collaborate with a friend. Maybe you don't have to throw the event by yourself. What if you co-collaborated and threw the event with someone and then together the whole time, you're just having a blast picking out all the stuff, setting the vision, inviting the people. Like those are ways to make processes fun. Same thing, if you want to get into like the best shape of your life, if you hate running, don't choose to run. Like, there are 500 million other ways to get in the best shape of your life, and running doesn't even have to be one of the things. I can't exist when we just continue to refuse to see other ways to get to the end goal, or we're not being honest with ourselves that that's something that we really want. So, the next time you find yourself in this place of, well, it must be easy, or they have something that I don't, or they just have it figured out, let this be a reminder to add fun and to take a step back and remember, like, wait a minute. I'm actually choosing to not do this. I know there are ways to do this, and also what is the actual resistance here? And sit with that for a minute rather than continuing to push through and build a system that you're never going to be able to sustain. Truly. Like going back to the fitness example, like you might run for 2 days, 4 days, maybe even 2, 3 weeks. But if you don't love something, you're not going to do it. So ask yourself, do I love what I'm really doing? Am I having fun doing it? And if the answer is that you love it, but you're not having fun, what are ways that you can have more fun? And if you listen to the first half of this podcast when I went off on some random tangent, I gave you 2 ways to have more fun. But as always, tell me how you felt about this episode. What are you going to do this week to add more fun into your life and business? Maybe you go to a coffee shop. Like, I don't know, go do something wild, put on a fun outfit, go meet up with a friend, go take pictures with someone and enjoy, like, I love when I have, a content day with a friend and we get to literally be each other's hype squad. Nothing more fun. Infuse fun into making content if that's something you're resisting. Anyway, I digress. Again, I'm going off on a tangent. I love talking about fun. If you're looking for ways to have more fun in your business, I am your girl. We do this in my group coaching programs and my one-on-one programs. As you can see, I'm pretty much anything but serious, but I am serious about helping you grow your business and in the most unconventional ways. So I hope to see you back here again next week for another tangent. Thank you for showing up, and I love you. Clap, clap, clap.